Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by Kringle's Christmas Shop, home of Comet's Choice premium reindeer food.
And a very happy Kwanzaa to all who are celebrating.
Today we're diving into a heartwarming story about family tradition and a little bit of mystery.
Oh, intrigue me.
Let's head over to the Mwangi household, where the first day of Kwanzaa is about to begin.
Kwanzaa, a beautiful celebration of African American heritage and culture.
Absolutely, and in this story we see those themes come alive through the eyes of 9-year-old Nia Mwangi.
I'm already intrigued. Tell me more about Nia.
Well, Nia is eagerly awaiting the start of Kwanzaa. She's been busy helping her parents prepare for the celebration, making decorations, and learning about the Nguzo Saba,
Then
seven principles of Kwanzaa.
it's wonderful that she's so engaged in learning about her heritage. Those principles are really at the heart of Kwanzaa, aren't they?
They are. Each principle represents a value or idea that's important to the Kwanzaa celebration. Things like unity, self-determination, and collective responsibility.
And I imagine those values are reflected in Naya's actions throughout the story.
You'll see that as we unfold the story. But for now, let's set the scene. It's a frost-kissed morning, the sun is just peeking over the horizon, and the Mwangi household is already bustling with activity. The aroma of spiced tea and honeyed sweet potatoes fills the air, and there's a joyful energy that's contagious.
It sounds so warm and inviting, a real sense of family and tradition.
Exactly. But just as Naya is about to start setting up the Kinara, the seven-candle holder, the central to the Kwanzaa celebration, she realizes something is terribly wrong.
Uh-oh. What happened? Did she forget where she put something?
It's worse than that. The family's treasured Kinara, an heirloom passed down from Naya's great-grandparents, is missing.
Oh, no. That's a significant loss, especially on such an important day. I can imagine how heartbroken Naya must be.
She is. It's not just any Kinara. It holds sentimental value representing generations of family history and tradition.
And without it, the Kwanzaa celebration feels incomplete. So what does Naya do?
Well, being the resourceful and determined young girl that she is, Naya decides to take matters into her own hands. She declares to her parents, "Don't worry, Mama. I'll find the Kinara. I'll solve the mystery."
That's the spirit. It sounds like we have a budding detective on our hands. I'm curious to see how she approaches this.
And of course, her little brother Jabari, always up for an adventure, insists on joining the investigation.
That's adorable. I bet they make quite the detective duo. So where do they begin their search?
Their first stop is the living room, the scene of the crime, so to speak. Naya, with her trusty notepad and pencil, begins examining the room for clues, while Jabari, ever the helpful assistant, dives under the couch to check those hard-to-reach places.
Those hidden nooks and crannies can hold surprising evidence sometimes. Did they find anything promising in the living room?
Well, Jabari emerges from under the couch, triumphant, holding up a tiny half-eaten cookie. "Found something," he exclaims.
A cookie. That's an interesting clue. What could it possibly mean?
Mia's is puzzled, too. She wonders who would be eating cookies in the living room, especially since Jabari sheepishly admits that it wasn't him this time.
That rules him out as a suspect, at least for this particular cookie. But it does raise more questions. Why was someone eating cookies in the living room? And could this be connected to the missing Kinara?
Those are exactly the questions swirling in Naya's mind. And just when she's about to give up on the cookie crumb as a viable lead, she notices something else, a trail of crumbs leading towards the kitchen.
Uh-huh. Now we're getting somewhere. Seems like your little detectives are on the right track.
With renewed determination, Nia and Jabari follow the trail of crumbs, their excitement building with every step.
I love their enthusiasm. It's like they're on a real-life scavenger hunt. What awaits them in the kitchen?
More crumbs, of course. This time they're scattered on the countertop. Jabari, always eager to assist, checks the cookie jar, but finds it full. This deepens the mystery. If the cookie jar is full, then where did these crumbs come from?
That's a good question. It seems like our cookie crumb trail has hit a dead end. Or has it?
Naya's stumped. She can't figure out why someone would be eating cookies in the living room and leaving crumbs all the way to the kitchen if the cookie jar is still full.
It's a puzzling detail, but sometimes the most seemingly insignificant clues can lead to the biggest breakthroughs. Did they find anything else in the kitchen that could shed light on this mystery?
They decide to widen their search, moving from the kitchen to the pantry. And there, on one of the lower shelves, Naya spots something unusual, a small feather lying amongst the bags of rice and beans.
A feather. Now that's intriguing. What kind of feather was it, and how could it possibly be connected to the missing Kinara?
That's what Naya's trying to figure out. They don't have any pet birds, so the feather must have come from outside. A bird must have gotten into the house somehow.
That's a possibility, but it still doesn't explain why a bird would be interested in a Kinara. Unless, could it be a clue about the thieves' identity?
Nia theorizes that maybe the thief had a bird with them, but the idea of someone or something being in their house during the night is unsettling.
It's definitely a creepy thought, especially for young children. But they're brave to continue the investigation.
They are, and their determination leads them to the back door where Nia notices another clue, patches of melting snow on the doormat.
Snow, but no one came in that morning, and their mom always wipes her shoes. This is getting more and more mysterious.
They push open the doorstep into the crisp winter air, and there it is, a set of small footprints leading away from the house.
Too small for an adult, too big for Jabari. Could this be the culprit?
Nia is convinced these footprints are fresh, meaning someone or something took the Kinara during the night. And she remembers one of the Kwanzaa principles her mother taught her, kujichugulia, or self-determination.
That's a powerful principle, taking responsibility for solving your own problems. It seems like Nia's putting it into practice.
She explains to Jabari that kujichugulia means they need to be brave and figure this out themselves. And so with determination in their hearts, they decide to follow the footprints, leading them out of their backyard and into the neighborhood.
Wow, this is turning into a real detective story. I can't wait to see where those footprints lead them. We'll have to pick up there in part 2.
Stay tuned to see if Nia and Jabari can crack this case.
Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, where we rejoin Nia and Jabari, 2 young detectives on a mission to recover their family's missing Kinara.
They've been following a trail of clues, crumbs of feather, and now footprints in the snow.
And those footprints have led them out of their backyard and into the neighborhood. What an adventure for these 2.
It is. It's a crisp winter morning, and the neighborhood is slowly coming to life. They pass neighbors shoveling snow, children building snowmen,
Ah, the joys of winter.
and the aroma of freshly baked bread wafts from a nearby bakery.
It's interesting how those sensory details, the sights, the sounds, the smells can really ground us in a story and make it feel more real.
I agree.
Yes.
Like we're right there with Nia and Jabari experiencing the sights and sounds of their neighborhood.
And speaking of their journey, where do those footprints lead them?
Well, they follow the footprints for a few blocks, turning corners, crossing streets, until they reach a familiar spot, the neighborhood park.
The park. What a great setting for this mystery to unfold. Parks are often seen as places of community and gathering. I wonder how that will play into their search.
That's a great observation. And you're right, the park is bustling with activity this morning. Families are out enjoying the fresh air. Children are playing on the swings and slides, and there's a sense of joy and togetherness in the air.
It's a beautiful contrast to the mystery that Nia and Jabari are trying to solve, the innocence of childhood against the backdrop of a missing heirloom.
And speaking of contrasts, as they approach the center of the park, they notice something that makes them stop in their tracks.
What is it?
It's a Kwanzaa craft fair in full swing.
A craft fair. What a serendipitous discovery. What a perfect representation of Kwanzaa's emphasis on creativity and community.
Absolutely. The park is transformed into a vibrant marketplace. Colorful stalls are set up displaying beautiful handmade goods, woven baskets, beaded jewelries, hand-painted pottery, and intricate wood carvings.
It's like stepping into a world of artistry and tradition. I can just imagine the sights, the smells, the sounds of the craft fair.
As they walk through the fair, Nia and Jabari are captivated by the vibrant colors and unique crafts. Nia spots a beautifully carved Kinara on one of the tables, reminding her of the missing heirloom and the purpose of their adventure.
It's a poignant moment. The craft fair's celebration of Kwanzaa traditions is a reminder of what they've lost, but also perhaps a symbol of hope that they might find it.
And speaking of hope as they're taking in the sights and sounds of the fair, something catches their eye, a flash of movement up in a nearby tree.
A bird, a squirrel, what could it be?
It's a squirrel, but not just any squirrel. This one has a tuft of white fur on its tail, and it's clutching something shiny in its tiny paws.
Shiny. Could it be a piece of jewelry? A lost button.
As the squirrel scampers down the tree trunk, they get a closer look and Nia gasps. It's a ribbon, and not just any ribbon. It's the same kind her mother uses for wrapping gifts.
Now that's a curious detail. It seems too specific to be a mere coincidence. Could this squirrel be connected to the missing Kinara?
Nia and Jabari exchange a look, their eyes wide with wonder and a hint of suspicion. Could this squirrel be their key to solving the mystery? Before they can ponder this further, the squirrel darts off, weaving through the crowd of shoppers and disappearing behind a stall piled high with baskets.
Oh, this is getting good. What do? Do they follow the squirrel?
Of course. They're determined detectives, remember?
Yeah.
And they're not about to let a squirrel, no matter how cute or mischievous, outwit them.
So they're off on a chase through the craft fair, following a ribbon-wielding squirrel. This sounds like a scene straight out of a movie. I can't wait to hear what happens next.
Me too. But I think we'll have to save that for part 3. We wouldn't want to spoil the ending of their exciting adventure.
You're right. Let's leave our listeners on the edge of their seats, eager to find out if Nia and Jabari will finally recover their missing Kinara.
Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories. When we left off, Nia and Jabari were hot on the trail of a mischievous squirrel, hoping it would lead them to their missing Kinara.
Quite the predicament for these young detectives. This search has taken them from a trail of cookie crumbs to a feather in the pantry. And now a chase through a bustling Kwanzaa craft fair.
And just when they think they've lost the squirrel, they spot it again.
Oh.
This time perched atop a table laden with handmade goods.
What a clever little creature leading them on a merry chase. I wonder what's going through its mind.
I can only imagine. But Nia and Jabari are too focused on their mission to ponder the squirrel's motives. They carefully approach the table, their eyes scanning the array of crafts, hoping to catch a glimpse of their Kinara.
It's a scene filled with anticipation. The vibrant colors and intricate designs of the crafts create a beautiful backdrop for this unfolding mystery.
And just as they're about to give up hope, Nia spots something tucked away behind a stack of woven baskets.
Could it be?
It's their Kinara.
There it is, safe and sound, or at least as safe as a Kinara can be when in the possession of a playful squirrel.
But it's not alone. The squirrel seems to have amassed quite a collection of treasures. Shiny buttons, colorful scraps of fabric, a lost mitten, and even a few acorns for good measure.
What a fascinating glimpse into the world of a squirrel. It reminds us that even the smallest creatures have their own sense of value and beauty.
It does. Nia and Jabari can't help but smile as they carefully retrieve their Kinara from the squirrel's stash, marveling at its eclectic collection.
It's a lighthearted moment, a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected events can lead to joy and discovery.
With the Kinara safely in hand, they make their way back home, eager to share the good news with their parents, and finally light the first Kwanzaa candle.
It's a triumphant return filled with a sense of accomplishment and relief.
As they step inside, the warm aroma of spiced tea and honeyed sweet potatoes welcomes them home.
A sensory detail that evokes a feeling of comfort and tradition, bringing us back to the heart of the Kwanzaa celebration.
Their parents are overjoyed to see the Kinara, relieved that it's been found. Nia and Jabari excitedly recount their adventure, describing the trail of clues they followed the chase through the craft fair and their unexpected encounter with the crafty squirrel.
It's a story within a story, highlighting the power of observation, determination, and a little bit of luck.
Their parents commend them for their quick thinking and resourcefulness, emphasizing how their actions embody the principle of kujichagulia, self-determination.
It's a wonderful lesson reminding us that even young children can make a difference when they set their minds to it.
And as they gather around the mkeka, the woven mat that symbolizes the foundation of their heritage, Nia's mother explains the significance of the first Kwanzaa candle, the black candle which represents umoja, unity.
Umoja, a powerful concept that resonates far beyond the Kwanzaa celebration. It speaks to the importance of togetherness, support, and shared responsibility within a community.
Nia and Jabari, reflecting on their adventure, realize that they truly embodied the spirit of umoja. They worked together, supporting each other through challenges and celebrating their successes.
It's a beautiful realization, highlighting how the principles of Kwanzaa can be lived and experienced in everyday life.
And as the black candle is lit, casting a warm glow over the room, the Mwangi family joins hands, their voices uniting in a harmonious chorus as they recite the Kwanzaa pledge, reaffirming their commitment to the values of their heritage.
It's a moving scene filled with a sense of reverence and connection. The mystery of the missing Kinara is solved, but the spirit of Kwanzaa, with its emphasis on unity, self-determination, and collective responsibility, will continue to shine brightly in their hearts.
And so our Kwanzaa story comes to a close, leaving us with a heartwarming reminder of the importance of family tradition and the power of community. Thanks for tuning in to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by www.kringleschristmas.com. Have you got your Comet's Choice premium reindeer food? Get yours today at cometschoice.com and have a very happy Kwanzaa.